You know, life throws you into some pretty crappy situations sometimes. But you know what? It's in those moments that you truly discover yourself. It hits you like a lightning bolt, and you realize that it's the only way to truly find yourself. You won't find it anywhere else. Think about it. If you're all about hitting the gym and bench pressing your way through life day in and day out, what are you really discovering? Or maybe you're all about swimming, and that's the only thing you want to do. What's the deeper meaning there? See, people often say you should double down on your strengths. But let me tell you, that's the weakest advice out there. No, you should triple down on your weaknesses. That's where the real gold is hidden. That's where you uncover something profound about yourself. You see, we all know the good stuff about ourselves, the happy parts. That's why people sometimes ask me, why don't you talk about the good times? Well, it's simple. We all know how to handle the good stuff. We've got that down. But life, real life, is about the times that suck. And guess what? About 90% of life is gonna suck. Yeah, you might have all the money in the world, a fantastic partner, but deep down, something's eating you alive. Trust me, it's eating up almost everybody out there. But you know what I did growing up? I learned how to ignore that voice inside me that said, "You're avoiding some serious **T. I stopped listening to it. That's why I talk so damn aggressively sometimes. When I drop an F-bomb, it's like I'm letting you inside my head, sharing exactly what I'm thinking. My life wasn't all rainbows and unicorns. It was a brutal struggle, a daily fight to get where I am today. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Watering down the truth? That's just not my style. Life wasn't fun back then, and it ain't always a party today either. I was 24 when I finally realized I was broken inside. Something had gone numb in my soul, and that numbness was calling the shots in my life. It dictated everything I did, or more accurately, everything I didn't do. See, when you're numb, you can't process what's happening to you or within you. You go through the motions, like I did when I ballooned into a chubby guy and became a cockroach sniper in restaurants. Yeah, I had excuses. I blamed my numbness on my dad, on my past, but it was just an excuse. I was numbing myself to survive, and that started with my dad. By the time I was 7, I had developed a prisoner of war mindset. Going numb was how I coped with the beatings, how I maintained some shreds of self-respect. Even after my mom and I escaped that hell, I kept getting stalked by tragedy and failure. Numbness became my way of dealing with the fact that losing was all I ever seemed to know. When you're born a loser, your goal becomes simple: survive. You learn to lie, to cheat, to blend in. You may survive, but it's a miserable existence. Just like the cockroaches I was sent to kill, you scurry in from the shadows to grab the basics while hiding your true self from the light. Born losers are experts at survival, but it comes at a price. I had my share of character defects. I was a quitter, a liar, a lazy, overweight guy, and I was deep in the abyss of depression. But one day, at 24, something inside me snapped. I couldn't take it anymore. I realized that if I didn't change, I'd die a loser or something even worse. I might become like my dad, a guy just one step away from violence. Misery had consumed me for far too long, and I was desperately groping for something, anything, to hold on to. So, I did the unthinkable. I went back to that haunted house on Paradise Road in Buffalo, New York, to face the devil himself. I was hoping to find answers that could help me change my life, but what I found was unexpected. My dad wasn't the devil anymore. He was human, deeply flawed, but not the monster I remembered. It was then that I realized I'd been living with a false history. As I sat there, listening to him rant and rave, I felt like I was betraying my mom. I saw Sue, his wife, pleading with him, just like my mom used to plead with my dad. I saw the same old tactics of disrespect and manipulation. I felt for Sue, and I saw my dad's specialty, the weaponization of disrespect. He used it to control and dominate, and he was damn good at it. But it wasn't my dad's fault that I experienced racism or struggled in school. Yes, he had beaten me and my brother and tortured my mother, but I hadn't lived with him since I was 8. I had been blaming him for my failures, for my problems. But that night, something inside me changed. I realized that I needed to take ownership of my life, my choices, and my future. It was time to stop living in the haven of low expectations. I accepted the hard truth that hoping and wishing for change wouldn't cut it. I needed to become resilient, to find strength where there was none. Like a seed that fights its way through the soil to reach the sunlight, I had to become that seedling. I had to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for my life. That night, I accepted the truth about myself, and it was liberating. My future was wide open, and I had a choice to make. I chose resilience. At 24, a powerful force was awakening within me, a force that would propel me to complete Hell Weeks, become a Navy SEAL, tackle Army Ranger School, and shatter world records. That night in Buffalo was a turning point. I had become a warrior of resilience, and I was ready to face whatever life threw at me.